A researcher at the Regent University College of Ghana is appealing for the establishment of an impact fund to support social enterprises in the country. Professor Enes Asamoah said there are, quote, seemingly non-existent, unquote, local funding sources for these ventures in the country, especially in the face of pandemics like COVID-19. The event, which was funded by the Business Sector Advocacy Challenge, is targeted at engaging stakeholders to discuss and share best practices for a stronger impact investment policy and the ecosystem in Ghana. I'm joined in the studio by Amasefadede Latte. She's co-founder Social Enterprise Ghana, to throw more light on the activities and what they found in this particular research. How can we make good on our investment when a pandemic like COVID-19 hits? Ama, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So I understand that this was a bigger research, but let's focus on what you found as far as COVID-19 and the impact it had on enterprises is concerned.
Thank you. We have about 600 members scattered all over the country. They are social enterprises. Social enterprises are businesses that are set up to solve a social or environmental problem. Okay. And when we surveyed them to find out what the impact of COVID-19 had on their businesses, 80% of them had had significant negative impact, but 20% of them had had some positive impact, which is something that you would not expect in times like this. So let me start with the positive. Okay. For the 20%...
So first of all, just give me an idea. You talk about social enterprises. Give me an idea. So for example, which organization and what were they into as part of those you surveyed?
So like I said, a social enterprise is a business set up to solve a social problem. Yeah. So for example, we have some of our members that are working with the poorest and most vulnerable of Ghanaians. They have set up businesses that buy from these Ghanaians. And even though they are businesses, part of their aim is to increase the income levels of these people. And so that affects the pricing and the relationship between them. We have others working in healthcare, environment, in sanitation. We have some working on counterfeiting and a wide variety. Okay. The key thing is that they measure their impact and they are able to prove that they have social impact.
Okay, so let's move on with the point you were taking me to.
So 20% of them had positive benefits. Some of these positive benefits were around reduced costs because of the increased use of technology. Some of them had positive benefits around increased sanitation in their workers, in their customers, that had actually improved some of their processes.
Because everybody's washing their hands.
Everybody's washing hands. Yeah. Other positive benefits included, there were a few industries like those who were working in e-learning where there had been an increase in demand. Yeah. And so there are a few who are seeing some positive benefits. And the 80% who were seeing negative benefits, the biggest issue was around reduction in finances, reduction in the demand. Some of them had had issues with their funders because maybe they had credit from their suppliers that had been cut off. Yeah. And so multiple shocks to their business.
Yeah. Speaking of multiple shocks to their business, is there a way to quantify the impact? Was that something that the research looked at?
So if you look at 90% of the businesses having a reduction in their impact, the social enterprise sector, we have about 29,000 social enterprises across Ghana. Yeah. And so if you were to estimate, most of them are SMEs. They are on average small enterprises with annual revenues between, say, 50,000 cedis to the larger ones will be about maybe 10 million, 20 million cedis. So if you have 90% of them seeing a reduction in revenue, then you can see immediately that just their business activity has gone down drastically. Wow. And that this then translates into having to lay off staff. This then translates, and it's not just their businesses, their customers' businesses are also affected.
Of course, it has a tripling down effect, which means that it will affect the local economy, which then affects the bigger economy. But then, so one of the biggest, I guess, recommendation is the impact funding that you're talking about.
Exactly.
Help us understand, what is this impact funding?
Impact investing is really just about investing, but investing to drive a social impact in addition to getting financial return. Okay. So we all invest. We may buy treasury bills or you buy shares and you want a financial return. But we're asking that people should also ask for an environmental return. And the reason we think this is important for Ghana is that Globally, it's a 715 billion market. And it's the only slice of the investing market that is growing despite COVID-19, growing at an annual rate of 17%. Impact is resilient because when you have a business that focuses on impact, it probably does many other things very well. So the Global Impact Investing Network just released a study, and it showed that 88% of all the asset managers, those who were investing with impact, had met or exceeded their financial targets.
Really?
And this is money that is patient capital, and we are advocating to see more impact investing in Ghana, but also because this is money that's looking for markets to go to invest.
Yeah.
And we want to see Ghana positioned as a hub for impact investing, not just for ourselves, but for the whole sub-region.
And with this advocacy, who particularly is your target? So
this particular event we had was for the media and for our members.
Okay.
And basically, all of us can be impact investing. We all invest. We can all be impact investors if we begin to consider the impact that our money will have. So let's say you want to invest in a small business, in a church that started by a young person. Can you push them to begin to look at the social impact of their business, to measure it and grow? So first of all,
does it mean changing the business idea of people? Because if I have a business idea, what you're telling me is that you want me to look at something that impacts society, something that brings benefits or social benefits to the people.
Exactly.
Does it mean that it will alter my business idea?
If your original idea was not one that had strong positive impact, certainly. But the good news is Ghana's young people are already coming up with all these ideas that have a social angle.
Solving the problems of society.
They are solving the problems. We are trying to match them with investors. And so we are also talking to the pension funds and to other asset managers to begin to look at impact as a class.
Okay, it sounds great. But let's wrap up by you answering this question for me. How do entrepreneurs attract impact investors?
So it starts off by measure your impact. I mean, the first thing an impact investor wants to know is, what is your impact?
Yeah.
So whatever the impact is you're trying to create, begin to measure it. And then once you begin to compile that data, second, have a strong business that is investable, which means do the right things. And when you put these two things together, you can begin to engage with the investors who will be interested.
Your ideas and get them to buy in. And if I am an investor with money, how do I go into this area of impact funding? So
the first thing is begin to ask the questions whenever you're making an investment. Even when you're investing in the stock market, ask your fund manager, what is the impact of this money, so that people begin to think about impact. That's the first step. You can be an angel investor, which is you helping a small business to get some capital, to buy some assets. Yes, it's a new industry. No, you want profit. You want it to be a profitable business.
For the business owners, because they're impacting society, not necessarily for yourself. That's my understanding of angel. It's not?
Angel investors just come in very early when the business is young. So unlike a bank that will ask for collateral, the angel investor is looking at the character of the entrepreneur. That's your collateral. Because I know you and I believe in you, I will give you 10,000 cedis to buy this equipment. You work with it and you pay me back. Or I may leave my money in the business for a while. When it grows, you pay me back. So that is angel investing, and we've been doing it for centuries.
Yeah, that's a good education for myself, and I'm sure for the people who are watching us today. But before we go, Ama, what should people take away from our conversation today? They don't remember anything at all. What should they remember?
So what I would say is that you have power with your money to be able to move Ghana in the right direction. So begin to see yourself as an impact investor in your small corner. Begin to talk to the businesses around you so they begin to work on impact also, and support any young person who has started a business that is driving social change in your community.
Right. I mean, I've learned something very impactful this afternoon. Ama Sifa Dedelati, right, is a co-founder of Social Enterprise Ghana. Right, and they're talking about impact funding. And the way she has explained it, I think I couldn't explain it any better. And I hope that that informs your decisions with what to do with your money. Ama, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.